Shoots one up into the net.
Off the face-off, Ethan Dennis fires it.
Puck to the front, shot goal. And it Sam Jacobson to win this game. 2-on-1. Shot to goal for Rochester. And that does it there, folks. The overtime session, Rochester Mayo will pull out the 2-1 victory over the Blue Jackets.
Welcome, sports fans, to the first Mayo hockey. Spartans take on the Albert Lee Tigers in this first scrimmage at Graham Arena. Welcome to all those who couldn't join in person for a start of another exciting Spartan year. Spartans have a lot of fixes after graduating several last year. Looking forward to a big season. Summer tournaments. Playing in the state. Sure. All right, Spartans fans, just ready to get underway here with the face-off. Taking the face-off to Ethan Daniels. That's back to the point, rifled into the zone, fielded by the Albert Lee goaltender. As Albert Lee attempts to break out up through the middle of the ice, that one's stolen away. That pass errant in the middle. Back out through the neutral zone come the Tigers. Entering the Mayo zone. That shot just wide as it comes around the boards. Wheeling and dealing in front. Backside pass was open. Couldn't get the shot away. Defended nicely there by Ethan Daniels. Pokes it away. Albert Lee tries to regain control. Puck bouncing around here. Swiping at it. Down along the half. Albert Lee attempts to break out. Nice deep pass. Looking for the far side. Intercepted by Albert Lee. And they come into the zone. 2-on-1. Shot on the goal. And Albert Lee is the first to get on the scoreboard after a turnover right at mid-ice. Not a lot of support for the goal. And it's 1-0 Albert Lee Tigers. Spartans ready for the face-off in more. That one's lost that battle. Dogs the defenseman. Battle on the half wall controlled by Albert Lee. D-to-D pass up the half wall into the Spartan zone. That one's picked up by the Spartans defense. Go around. One of the Albert Lee forwards picked up by our defenseman. Streaks into the zone. That shot's blocked. It goes into the corner. Back around the net. Side of the board. Control zone. Ice and into the pulled away nicely by the defender. Centered, nobody home. Poked out to neutral zone. And sent all the way down into the Albert Lee zone as the Spartans ready for their forecheck. Good forecheck there. Back around the behind the net. 2 men on it. Albert Lee now pick up the puck. The scrum for it in the corner, and that one's rung all the way around the boards and controlled by the Spartans defense. Along the side of the boards, there's a hit from behind, no call. They battle around the half wall and finally get into the Albert Lee end. That pass is intercepted in the middle. Albert Lee looking to break out with a long cross ice. In Birch, and they're offside. Face off just outside the Spartan zone. And unfortunately, by Huseth, attempting to snag the puck, and he'll go to the sin bin for 2 minutes. Spartans on the penalty kill. Face off in the Spartan zone. And it looks like it will be five scrimmage. No okay. Face off control by line. Shot. That one's redirected into the corner. Albert Lee controls. Back out to the point. Looking for the pass. That one's intercepted, but smacked the length of the ice. And we'll get a face off down in the Spartans' end. With 20-30 remaining in the first. Spartans down 1. Face off won by Albert Lee. Puck bounces around, controlled by Albert Lee. There's a bad angle shot. And it looks like the net's knocked off its moorings. We'll get a face off to the near side of Hayden. Face-off won by the Spartans along the half wall. Pass streaking up the middle through the neutral zone. Shot and a save. A nice little breakout pass there leads to an opportunity for the Spartans. We're going to face off to the far side of the Albert Lee goaltender. Albert Lee looking to break out. That one's kept in the zone. Tough stand at the blue line by the Spartans. That one's attempted clearing pass control by the Spartans. Hits a skate. Takes a fortuitous bounce for the Albert Lee Tigers. They get an opportunity. Spartans back on the puck now. Nice way to make a miss there in the corner. Spartans down in the Albert Lee end, back to the defense. Shot from the point. That one's tipped. Nice redirect. The Albert Lee goaltender up to the task. Now down into the corner. Attempt to break it out. That's held in the zone. Hendricks was after it. Cross ice pass. Dump it into the Spartan zone. Just have it behind the net. That's up to him. The center set the length of the ice. Now we'll pick it up. Spartans change. It'll be easily played. They'll put up with a face of the Spartan goaltender. 18:03 left in the first period. Albert Lee Tigers 1, Mayo Spartans nothing. Sid Morey for the draw. That one's one into the corner. Huseth with it. Looking to skate up out of the zone. He'll find Morey in the middle. He was looking for his winger. Kept in. That one's poked up and out. Back down into the corner. That one's rung around the boards. Looking up to the near side. Back away with the Albert Lee Tigers. That shot is up and over the boards. Good scrum there. In the corner. Fidmore able to poke it up. So Hank holding the TD pass to Huseth. Huseth looking through the middle. Lost it for a moment. He'll wheel and send it all the way to the length of the ice. And that'll be an icing face-off down in the Spartans' end with 17:06 remaining in the first. Purposes with just periods. Behind the back pass up the half wall. That one's nicely up to the centerman, breaking through the middle. That one's poked away by the Tigers. Collected by the Spartans. It's a nice little move there. Down into the corner goes the scrum. Nobody quite able to dig it out. Now back out to the Mayo Spartans point shot. That one's blocked in front. Rebound was there. That headed down into the corner. Look at that, was Ethan Daniels taking a big fall there into the corner. Great attempt to get after the puck. Ooh, there's a trip. And Albert Lee will get called for the tripping in the corner. Again, special teams not in play for the scrimmage. So we'll skate 5 aside again. Face off won by Albert Lee. Back around the net, looking up the middle for the breakout pass. Streaking through the middle. It's a 2-2 for Albert Lee as they bust into the Mayo Spartan zone. Down into the corner. Big check in the corner. Able to gather the puck of Mayo Spartans defenseman. That one cross ice pass misses the mark. Now streaking zone to the Albert Lee end. Albert Lee able to gather it around the goaltender and back out through the neutral zone. And again, 2-on-2. That shot misses the mark wide and around the corner. Collected by Albert Lee. That centering pass is broken up in the middle. Breaking down through the neutral zone. Here's a 2-on-1 for the Spartans. Nice pass there. That one's poked away by the Albert Lee Tigers, and back they come the other direction. 2-on-2. That one's, there's a big couple of fisticuffs after the play. After the aberrant checking. Big shot there by the mark, and that'll come all the way out to the neutral zone. Sent across ice. Check there. On that wall. Sent up by Seth. Probably at the blue line. Nice little hand there by Hank Holt. He's able to bat it down and make the play and absorb the check. Down into the corner. Sent it to the middle. Misses the mark. Collect it. Spartans get a full change. It's off the skate. Big strike there for a while. Picked up, hold through the middle. Down to the corner is the battle. Picked up and swung around. Batted down by the Spartans and into the zone. Shot and a save by the Albert Lee goaltender into the red basket. Nice opportunity there by the Spartans on the giveaway. Face off with 12:24 remaining in the first periods. 1-0 Albert Lee. Face off battle, batted around, finally picked up by Albert Lee, out through the neutral zone. Gain the zone. That one's defended nicely. Down into the corner. Run around the boards. Winger. Picked up by Finn Moore. He sends it back up to the boards. He's covered. First the check. Walks the line. Shot from the circle. That one's gathered by Hayden after a swipe rebound. And we're going to face off to the far side. 11:40 remaining in the first. Remember, it's a 2-period format for the scrimmage. No special teams. Face up one by Albert Lee up to the point. That one just narrowly misses the mark. Played into the back out to the winger. He makes a nice pass to find the far side. Intercepted by Albert Lee. Well, there. They streak back up the ice. No offsides. Just get on. Round here goes a 1-on-1. Albert Lee forward defender. Pass there, and Albert Lee collected in the neutral zone. Looking up ice. That pass is blocked. Sent back down into the Albert Lee zone, and Mayo will get a change. Cross ice pass misses the mark, and Spartan's able to gather it. That pass back to the defenseman misses the mark. Hold the zone barely. Mayo Spartans come out through the neutral zone. That one's tipped away. Now along the half wall. Collected by Albert Lee as they break in 1-on-1. As the other forward jumps up into the play. behind the forwards and other defensemen from Mayo, now down into the corner. Sent up to the half wall, no winger home. That's cross ice pass mark out through the neutral zone and down on into the Albert Lee end. No icing. That was picked off in the neutral zone by Huseth. He holds the line as he was waiting for one of his players to clear the zone. They send it back in, but that's given right away to the Albert Lee Tigers as they to the Mayo Spartans end. 1-on-5 momentarily. Mayo able to bust out. That crossed the line. Albert Lee recollects. 1-on-1. Now a 2-on-1 shot and a save by Hayden. Looks like the Albert Lee Tigers able to jump behind our forwards and defensemen, create a lot of 2-on-1 chances on the transition. 8:50 remaining in the first. Point shot. Well, by shot in the circle blocked. That comes all the way through the neutral zone down into the Albert Lee Tigers. Big battle there. The race for it. Hustling after it is Ethan Daniel. That'll be a slash. And Ethan will go to the bench for a couple of minutes. Again, no special teams. We get a change here. Faceoff will be down in the Spartans' end with 8:02 remaining in the first. That one's one back to Hayden, and he'll scoop it up. And we're going to face off once again, far side circle. After the puck drop. Finally, Mayo breaking up through the middle. That's Joe Villarama. Villarama shot, and that one's just wide. Great opportunity there. That one's off the near side wall. Sent down into the Spartans end. That'll be fielded by Hayden. Hayden looking for Joe again. Here comes Villarama. That one's just behind. Finally picked up by Maury in the neutral zone and sent into the zone. Big battle behind the net. Finally able to hold the zone. Good forechecking there. That one sneaks past the forwards down into the Mayo zone. That one's defended nicely. Here they come the other way. Spartans looking for Finn cross ice. He'll send it in deep and get a change as the Spartans look for the forecheck down across the back of the net into the corner. Spartans able to hold his own. Now bounces out to the zone. On to Albert Lee, send it into the Spartans end. Looking up ice. Nice long cross ice pass. A shot under the pad saved by the Albert Lee Tigers. Kept in the zone nicely by the defenseman for the Spartans. Henderson there took a swipe at it. Albert Lee able to collect at the least. He'll lose it momentarily up to Henderson. Henderson loses it in his skate. That one's sent into the middle. Far side, Spartans looking to fade the zone. The Tigers regather it. Far side, and there's a beautiful pass. Jump behind Huseth. Fortunately, it just skates wide. We'll be into the basket. Hayden will get a face off to the far side. Very fortunate on that. Versus a second Tigers. Face off by Albert Lee. Back to the point. Set back down into the corner around the back of the net, collecting it his set. Wheels around, goes the other direction. Pass through the best of the winger. Now Albert Lee with it. DP pass. Nice. That one's interesting. Here come the Spartans. Down into the corner they go. Looking across the back of the net. That went back down into the corner. Tipped away by Albert Lee. Swipe at it. This goes the length of the ice. It'll be an icing as Hank Holt and the Albert Lee Tigers skate after it. 4:02 remaining in the first period. 1-0. Albert Lee. That one face off, won by Albert Lee down into the corner. Sent all the way down the ice. Joe Villarami, he'll come down, skating hard. Shot, that one whistles wide. Picking it up now. There's a big slash. And we'll get a couple of stick throwing. Maybe a little bit of an attitude issue there, but 3:06 remaining in the first period as the stick was hurled across the ice after the slashing call. A little tomfoolery there. We'll still have 5-on-5 play. Fortunately for the Spartans, they've only had two penalties. Albert Lee, the decisive lead in penalties. With 2:27 remaining, Hayden will cover it up, and we're going to face off to the near side. We're having a little bit of audio difficulty, and we will try to correct that between periods. Back to the action. That centering pass is broken up by Albert. 3-on-2. Long shot is collected by Hayden. Save.
Sorry, folks. We have to switch announcers. We had a little medical emergency next door, and our announcer, Mr. Doc Morey, had to run over there. So Albert Lee moves the puck up through the neutral zone. They're coming in on the left-hand side. Shot, save, Caden Johnston. Mayo transitions up ice. Finn Morey moves it up. Shot on net, but he was slashed as he was taking that shot and didn't get everything on it. So we'll have a face-off to the left-hand side of the Albert Lee goalie. Face-off. Albert Lee wins it back. D moves it up the boards. D pinches. Puck pops out to Albert Lee. Albert Lee's coming down the left-hand side. Puck is dumped back down by Albert Lee. They move it out to the slot with a quick shot. Save Johnston. Albert Lee moves the puck out to the D. D shoots, blocked by Mayo. Mayo comes back up ice, and we're just going to dump it down and get some fresh players out there. Albert Lee's team moves it up, and that is intermission, folks. So no Zam cut. We'll take a little break and we'll be back for the next half in a couple of minutes.
When you buy a car from Penn's Automotive, sure, the lifetime powertrain warranty is important. You love the 7-day, 700-mile return policy, and the certified technicians and the on-site body shop let you know your vehicle is in good hands. But the real reason? The complimentary car washes with every vehicle. You know what's better than going through a free car wash? Going through it in the car, and we provide those too.
Apologies, fans, about the audio. We have a new setup this year, and we're working through some of the kinks this week with the scrimmages. So Mayo is switching their goalie. We have Colton Brandt in net now. Puck is dropped, and we're underway the second half. Albert Lee is up 1-0 unofficially. Albert Lee's coming down the left-hand side. Puck's in the corner. Puck is moved to D partner by Hank Bolton. Albert Lee wins that loose puck battle. We have a shot from the point that's off target. Albert Lee's in the corner, looking for an outlet up high. They move to the slot. Quick shot and goal. Albert Lee working that puck down low, moving it out to the slot for a quick one-timer in the back of the net. All right, puck is dropped. Mayo wins that face-off forwards, but Albert Lee gains possession. They chip it through. Puck offsides. Looks like we got a penalty on the play too, an interference. But we're not doing special teams, so they'll just head off to the bench and get a fresh player. Albert Lee wins that face-off back, but it spurts out of the zone, so Albert Lee's back to pick it up. They chip it up through. Mayo gains possession of the pucks and dumps it out to the neutral zone. Albert Lee regroups, moves it D to D. Up to the center, center through the neutral zones, coming through, entering on the right-hand side. Lose the puck, but Albert Lee gains possession of it down low. Albert Lee's in the corner. They try to move it up the D, but it's intercepted. Mayo moves it across ice, but they can't handle that pass. Albert Lee works that puck D to D. We're regrouping. Albert Lee looks for the neutral zone, but fans on that pass. We got Finn Mori with the puck, tries to move it up to his wing, but he's changing, so he wasn't watching for that pass. Brogan Hodge back, tries to move it up the neutral zone, but his partner can't handle the puck. So we have Albert Lee with possession. Top of their zone again. They move to the forward, not on target. Albert Lee gains possession. Mayo, Jesse Hendrickson gains possession of the puck, tries to move it to the slot. Shot from the point, off target, wide. Colton Huseth out at the point, can't maintain possession. Albert Lee chips it out. Comes down the left-hand side, shot, save. Colton Huseth with possession, brings it behind the net. Tries to reverse it back the other way. Jesse Hendrickson picks up the puck. That puck is then chipped out by 15, and we still have to figure out the numbers, so I'm not sure who 15 is yet. Albert Lee enters the Mayo zone. Huseth bodies him off the puck. Ooh, big check by Albert Lee coming in with an elbow. That's going to be a penalty, so he'll have to head off the ice. So we'll have a face-off in the Albert Lee zone on the right-hand side of their goaltender. Puck is dropped. Mayo wins that in front of the net. Can't get much on it. Goes wide. Albert Lee picks up possession in the corner, tries to move it, stretch pass up to the wing. We have a loose puck. Mayo gains possession, moves up. Finn Mori entering the zone. Cuts across the slot, looking for an outlet. Decides to dump it down low. Albert Lee's coming back down, entering the zone, looking for an outlet, drops it back. That puck is deflected, goes wide, and it's Colton Brand jumps on that loose puck. Face-off is one, loose puck in the slot, battling possession, ends up in front of Colton Brand and shipped out of play. So it's 19:39 left in the second half. Unofficially, Albert Lee is up 2-0. We'll have a face-off on the right-hand side of Colton Brand. Face-off is one back to the corner. Max Gargolo tries to move that puck up to his wing. Johnny Kaczmarzinski can't handle the puck. Albert Lee picks it up, and their D is behind the net looking for an outlet. Moves it up to their wing. Max Gargolo steps up, does a nice job to maintain the zone. Slap shot from the point goes high and wide. Got a loose puck in the corner. Albert Lee's trying to work that puck up. D maintains possession of the point, dumps it down low. Albert Lee's back in the corner. Loose puck battle. Got a couple Mayo guys down there trying to gain possession. Albert Lee decides to just dump it down the ice for an icing. Albert Lee gains possession. They head up ice. They move it up to the wing, and they dump it down low. Colton Brandt's back there to play the puck. Moves that puck around the boards to the wing and up and out. Ollie Birch trying to work around that Albert Lee D, who comes in late, knocks him off the puck. Still loose puck in the corner. Moved out to the slot. And we have a slash behind the play by, looks like Henley Kalura. So he'll have to head to the box, head to the bench. We'll have that'll move the puck back down into the Mayo zone with a face-off on the right-hand side of Colton Brandt with about 17:30 left in the second half. And another whistle, not sure what that is for. Face-off is won by Albert Lee. They move back to the D. D can't handle it. Mayo gains possession, shifts it out of the zone, and dumped in. Albert Lee's back to pick up that puck. A little reverse in the corner. Tries to move it up their wing and out. Mayo's D. Husef to Holton. Back to Husef. Husef cross ice, not quite on target. No ice here. Nice little centering pass by Mayo, but not quite on target. Puck still in the zone. D fans on it. Albert Lee's coming down on 2-on-1 now. Try to move it across. Holden Husef breaks up that play. Back across to the D. D, nice little move. Try to walk around. Forward coming out to play that puck. Holden Husef in the corner. Tries to move to Hank Holden. Hank picks it up. Throws it up to the wing. Into the skates. He can't handle it. Albert Lee D has the puck. Hank gains possession of it. We're coming out of the zone. Dump it down and get fresh bodies out on the ice. Johnny Kashmazik's in hard after that puck. Centers it. Oh, but not quite. Bouncing puck can't handle. Ball gets wiped out from the net. Little corner battle now. Albert Lee's D gains possession, comes around the net, reverses, back up ice, is looking for that stretch pass at the far blue line. Oh, big save by Colton Brandt. Albert Lee just snuck in behind our D, and they pick the puck again. Shot wide. Number 19 has possession of the puck, entering the zone. Loses it. Albert Lee picks it back up. Tries to move it up, but it's blocked by Mayo. Mayo's D is working it D to D. Max Gargolo moves it up. Mayo enters the zone. Shot wide. Gargolo picks it up back at the point, dumps it in the corner. To Johnny Kashmazynski plays the puck, moves it over to Ollie Birch. Ollie Birch tries to dangle around Albert Lee's D, but can't, loses the puck. Albert Lee tries to get out of the zone, flips it up. Max moves it over to Sean Daniels. Mayo dumps that puck in. Albert Lee back to retrieve. Albert Lee just turns and fires that puck up ice. Henry Kahlur enters the zone, walks around to Albert Lee, looking for an outlet. Brogan Hodge is coming in now. Albert Lee just wants to relieve some of the pressure and throws that puck down the ice for an ice. So hopefully the audio is a little bit better this half. Face off on the right hand side of Albert Lee goalie. Albert Lee wins that face off back. He's looking for an outlet. Fans on the pass. Mayo picks up, gains possession, moves out to Lee. Brogan Hodge. Shot just over the net. Jesse Hendrickson tries to move it back to the D. Jesse Hendrickson with the puck again, walking through the slot. Tries to fire, blocked by Albert Lee. Albert Lee picks it up. Entering the zone, moves it up. Coming in wide on the left-hand side of Colton Brandt. We have Ollie Birch coming around the net, moves it up over to Jesse Hendrickson. Jesse dumps that puck into the zone, and Mayo goes and retrieves it. Henry Kahlur going in after that puck. Jesse pins him up along the boards. Battling for that puck, moves out to the point. Colton Husef, D to D. Over to 15 fans on it. I'm sure 15 is. I think it might be Aiden Anderson. Albert Lee coming again. Hopefully we get some Mayo back checks around Albert Lee. Poke check by Colton Brandt. Albert Lee going around the net, looking for an outlet coming through the slot. Poke check by Mayo. Mayo looks to move it up, and we could have a breakaway. Well, they choose to go back behind the net and just throw it out front. And then give them a slash on the way back. Albert Lee coming down. Little backhand goes behind the net. Mayo picks it up, goes wide. We have Fionn Piddock going after that puck. Colton Husa steps up and sticks his leg out. He's going to be called for a trip. He'll have to go back to the bench and switch for a fresh D-man. Oh, you got it.
Yeah.
11:16 remaining in the first. Ben Morey for the faceoff. That one's tipped up ahead. Wiped at by Clark. Albert Lee gathered again back into the Mayo Spartan zone. There's a long shot block in the middle. Batted around, and now Clark will gather it. He'll send it across ice. Skating into the zone. That's Ollie Birch. He'll send it in and gather it. Big check there along the side. I would sit all the way the length of the ice. Gathering it is Sean Daniels. Daniels down around the back of the net for Villarama. Villarama sends it up. Big hit there on Clark. And we'll get a face-off outside the Albert Lee zone with 10:22 remaining in the first period. Taking the face-off will be Fionn Piddock. And he'll be centering Johnny Kaczmarzinski on the near side. That one bounced around in the Albert Lee zone, cleared nicely up through the middle. As they break into the Spartan zone, that errant pass is intercepted by Piddock. He'll send it to cross ice, 21. We don't have a name on that, apologize. Fionn after it, skated down and behind the net. Collecting that is Kaczmarzinski. Albert Lee gain it, but that's nicely intercepted by Hodge. He takes a tumble back out. Kaczmarzinski down into the corner. That one's sent out to the point and out of the zone. Oh, stolen away. And that one's a great save by Hayden. As that one was poked away from Anderson, and breakaway attempt down on Hayden. Or is that Brandt now in the net? He's up to the task. And we're going to face off to the far side of Colton Brandt. Faced off one again by Albert Lee. Long shot, blocker saved by Brandt down into the corner. That one's fielded errantly by Holton, and he'll take a tripping penalty. As Albert Lee will get 6 skaters now. They still control the play. Out to the point. But nobody able to gather it. And finally, Daniels will pick it up. And a little discussion after the play with 8 minutes remaining. Again, no special teams with 7:50 remaining in the second period. Albert Lee still 1-0 lead. Face-off won by Daniels. Out around the back of the net, Villarama just misses Hendrickson, and Albert Lee able to regain the zone. That backwards pass, great check there by Daniels. That's sent back up the ice. Hendrickson carrying it into the zone. He's spotted by Albert Lee. Nice cross-ice pass. Just misses the mark. He was looking for Kalura. Now Albert Lee coming back into the zone. Send it in deep. Villarama defending along with Christofferson. Back out to the point. Bothered by Hendrickson. Long shot blocked there. Tipped up and out by Christofferson. Sent back down into the Mayo zone. Skate around Kaczmarzinski. Down into the Mayo Spartans end. Shot. That one misses the mark down into the corner. Kaczmarzinski with the hip check. That's Villarama battling in the corner with Christofferson. Finally able to pick out the puck. Is great play there. Up ice was Hodge. Hodge still with it, battling in the corner. In his skate, he'll find the man on the far side. Shot and a save. He's looking for Johnny K, and his shot will be stopped by the Albert Lee goaltender. We're going to face off to the far side with 5:52 remaining in the first period. Face-off sat in the corner. Bounced up now to the point. 3-on-2. They'll split the defenseman. Shot and a save by Colton Youssef. Down into the corner is Hodge. Battling with Morey. From in the corner. Albert Lee will come out with it. Trying for a spinorama shot on net. That one saved by Brandt. Batted around. Still in the Mayo Spartans end. Poked up and in along the half wall. Hodge with the check. Morey defending now and down into the corner. Tries to get it up to the wing. That one's sent finally the length of the ice. We'll get an icing. And back down into the Mayo end. Face off by Piddock. That's one into the corner. Fielded by Husep. That's a high flying puck still into the corner. Big battle there. Albert Lee controlling. Still a fight. That one's poked away by Piddock. He'll come away with it. Looking up ice. Kaczmarzinski. He'll take a check and bring it into the corner. Piddock. That one bounces around. Johnny Kaczmarzinski after it. Bounced around. Back down into the end. Kalura will send it. He tries to get it by the Albert Lee defender. Piddock sends it back into the zone. That'll be a big cross ice pass. And after it's used that, he'll get dragged down. Albert Lee gain the zone. Back out of the corner. Defended by Huseth, saved by Colton. That one sent down around the back of the net by Sean Daniels after it is Huseth. He'll make a check in the corner. Piddock now fighting for it. Skate around and then Daniels defending. Nice move there. Shot over the top of the net. Controlled by Albert Lee. Now sent back down into the corner. And Albert Lee holds his own. Shot, save. What a beautiful save by Colton Brandt on that intercept at the blue line. We'll keep it a 1-goal game with 2:16 remaining in the second period. Face-off draw by Ethan Daniels. That's won by Albert Lee. Been around, bothered by Hendrickson. Poked out. Albert Lee cross ice, top of the dot. Sent around, down and around the corner, back out to the top of the circle. Shot and a save by Brandt. He'll cover it up with 1:40 remaining in the second. Remains 1-0 Albert Lee Tigers. Face off one to the side. Daniels with it. He'll poke it up to Hodge. Hodge looking to get it back to William Birch. That one's sent all the way down into the end. Controlled by Albert Lee up to the half wall. And that one's intercepted by Villarama. Villarama looking for the centering pass. Comes back out to Daniels. Sent down into the corner after it's Hendrickson. Hendrickson and Daniels give chase. And that one's sent out into the neutral zone. DDD pass from Villarama up to looking for Hendrickson. That one's sent all the way back down to the Spartans' end with 37 seconds remaining. Poked away Albert Lee with another opportunity. That one's blocked by Brandt. Now Hodge with it. Looking cross ice for Hendrickson. That hits his skate. Gets behind him. Now Daniels with it. Looks up ice. That's Kalura. Sends it down deep into the corner. Henry Kalura gives chase. Pin him into the corner. And that'll do it for the first of these scrimmages. Albert Lee getting the better of the Spartans with a 1-0 win. And that'll do it. We'll see you back for the second scrimmage. And that is scheduled to start at 11:30. So we'll see you back at 11:30 for round 2 with the Mayo Spartans versus Mankato East. Thanks for watching.